You guys all ready? Perfect. We'd like to welcome 2021 Genesis Invitational champion Max Homa into the Media Center. Max, you're the only player in the field this week that has won the Genesis Invitational as well as the Farmers Insurance Open. Can you talk a little bit about being back at Torrey Pines?
Yeah, it's been a long couple weeks since we were here last. I love San Diego. My sister still lives down here since college, so it's great to get to go see her. I love the golf course. It'll be fun to get to, we played the U.S. Open here, obviously the Farmers a bunch, and then this, so it's fun to have this rotation because, no North course this time is unique because I love the Farmers because there's, a bit different grass on both courses, but to get to play South 4 times is a fun challenge. So love coming to this neck of the woods, and it is freezing. However, usually you get these great days, so hopefully we'll get a few great days down here.
And then obviously we're back at Torrey Pines due to the devastating wildfires in Los Angeles. Being a California native, you had the opportunity to participate in some content yesterday called Chipping In. Ended up raising funds on behalf of FedEx for the California Fire Foundation, and ended up giving a car, thanks to Genesis, to a deserving family. Can you talk a little bit about that and seeing the reaction of the family who received the car?
Yeah, it was first an honor to be asked to do something to help. We've been trying to think of things to do, and I think your gut reaction to most ideas is that's not enough. We need to do something bigger. And what I guess kind of realized yesterday, getting to see the Cruz family in person, react to getting their gifts and hearing what, Genesis and the tour was doing to help, getting to see their faces and the emotion and almost a bit of like relief and hear, from how awful their story is, makes you realize that like anything helps. So I think that was good to see. Selfishly, it was cool to be a part of, just to get to see the true joy that something like that brought them. It's heavy, it's sad to hear the story, and I know that it's not going to change their lives completely, but you start to realize that if you can do anything, do it. So very honored to be a part of that. I'm happy that the Genesis is helping and the tour is helping, and just trying to do something good because you meet a family like the Cruz family, and Chris, I guess the main person we were hosting, his house burnt down, his dad's car burnt down, and he's still at the sites helping people in need. So it's just, you meet a lot of very, very special people. I hate when we get told that people look up to us because I hit a golf ball for a living. People like that have massive hearts and they deserve the world, and to hear all the bad that's going on with him and his family, and obviously tons of other families, that stinks, but to see that he still is this same helpful, good-spirited person is something that is incredibly inspiring.
Thanks for that, Max. And we'll go ahead and open it up for questions. If you have a question, just raise your hand and we'll get you the microphone. All the way in the back.
Max, Taylor Schaub, Spectrum News 1 in Los Angeles. You talked about meeting that family. Where were you on that Tuesday night when you first saw the fires erupting in the Palisades in Altadena, and how did you experience those first couple of days?
I think I was just home, but yeah, it just was weird. I know this is not like a new thing, like natural disasters happens. I know what happened in the Carolinas with the hurricane. Obviously was alive for the Katrina hurricane, like those types of things. It's not like it falls on deaf ears. Like, it's very sad, and I've tons of sympathy for everything going on. But for whatever reason, this one, I think because I've been to the area so much and I have family there and tons of friends there, and I've driven those streets, and when I would turn on the news, I knew exactly where they were. It was it felt, I don't know, it just like hit me harder I was very fortunate to hear that all my friends and family had gotten out and they were all safe, and their spirits kind of raised my spirits, because I think they all recognize that, hey, we're okay. We don't know about our homes, but we're okay and we will be fine. So that kind of helped, I guess, put into perspective what's important, even from, myself, the outside looking in. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's just because I knew the area so well, and it's meant so much to me that it was the first time I felt like a deep connection to one of these natural disasters, other than just, being a human and having a heart. But I'm very, very proud to be from Los Angeles. And I am looking forward to being a part of and continuing to watch the city rebuild and everyone come together. And, I think that's the beauty of, in a way, of some of these awful things that happen, is you get to see the massive hearts and these inspiring stories of people who will go out of their way to help a person they've never met in their life. So I find that to be some kind of glimmer of sunshine in some pretty awful times. So I look forward to watching my city do that, and I know that they will do a great job.
Thank you, Max.
You can get the microphone right over here to Joel. Right up here. Thank you.
Max, I know in the golf front, the results haven't been maybe what you've wanted them to be. Is there anything from past struggles you've been able to learn from or lean on during this time to keep you positive that what's on the other side of this?
Yeah, I think I for one know what I'm capable of. I for two know that. You say that for two? Secondly, I know. I know that I am quite tough when it comes to this stuff. I've gone through this much worse before, where the results weren't coming. I definitely have my low days. I have been incredibly frustrated since April. But I also see, I find pride in waking up after a hard day and having the energy to go get better. So I do think at the end of all my days, and I would assume most people would think this way about themselves, whatever walk of life you're in, whatever job you have, if I'd ever have another good result again, that would be a massive bummer. But I could rest easy, maybe in some years, but I could rest easy knowing I'm doing absolutely everything I possibly can to do that. I've always been quite proud of my work ethic. I think it's why I'm here. I think it's my best quality, and that has been ramped up about 1,000 notches. And I don't know. I had a moment in my car leaving practice maybe Saturday after the waste management. We had a long day. My coach fortunately stayed. My caddy came out. We had a very long day at the golf course. And I was really tired and really frustrated just with everything going on with my own golf game. And on the drive back, I just had a nice moment where I just thought to myself how much better the next win's going to feel than any win has felt. So it stinks, but I don't know. Not that I've ever taken anything for granted, but I know what that sweet relief of a great finish will kind of feel like. So I'm just trying to hold on to that as my motivating factor at the moment.
Right up here, right in front of you, Joel.
Max, following up on that, when you go through changes like you did, new coach, new clubs, do you put any kind of timetable on when you hope to or expect to see tangible results out of that?
Thursday. No, I don't. I'm pretty into the trusting the process type mindset. I know I'm getting better, even if it looks like I'm getting worse. I think I know what I'm doing is right. It's very difficult to continue to see bad. But last week I actually hit the ball incredible, and I missed a cut by 5. So golf does not like me at the moment. I've noticed that. The first day, my coach, I think, very astutely said I shot 5 over. Joe and I were walking down the whole day laughing to each other like, what is happening? Because it didn't feel like it. Like we would be over par in a round like that. And my coach astutely said after, he goes, I think you were 6 combined feet away from being like 2 or 3 under. It just, it's a hard game, man. And when it doesn't like you back, it gets very difficult. So I know I'm moving the right direction. I've had some really bad weeks. When we were here 2-3 weeks ago, I played horrendous, played awful at Pebble. And then last week was finally a massive breakthrough on Monday, Tuesday. It felt like I've been looking for this kind of missing link, and I got it. So I wouldn't put a timetable on it. I do believe that if you get up every day trying to get 1 or 2% better, when it clicks, it'll be great. So I know that that's happening, whether it looks like it or not.
I was going to say, when you were here, you mentioned that this course is a fun challenge, but it couldn't have been much fun when you were here a couple of weeks ago. Is it easy to just put that out of your head and go on? Is that just part of what makes, a golfer better than the rest of us who can't always do that?
I guess, yeah. I'm not really like, I feel, I know it's only been 2 weeks, but I've been looking forward to getting back here ever since basically like last Tuesday, because I know I can play this golf course really well. So, yeah, I think it gets probably a little overblown, how like the horses for courses thing. If I had one, it is Riviera. I played awful there last year and got like 15th place. That's the only course I can think of where I just walk there and I know even with nothing I can turn it into something. This course is much different. If you don't drive the ball well on the South course, you could manage, but you're not gonna. It's very uncommon someone can go win swinging it like I did a couple weeks ago, but I'm not swinging it like that anymore. So I look forward to playing this and getting kind of that. Yeah, I hate playing golf courses that I love poorly, so it's actually quite nice for me to be here only a few weeks later and get to kind of wipe the stink off a little bit.
And over here to Sean.
Sorry, you said frustrated since April. Is that the reference to post-Masters and what happened there, or something else?
No, yeah, just the Masters, the last good golf tournament I played. I got, I think, 8th or 7th or something at the now Truist, Quill Hollow. I drove it awful there. I've been swinging it very poorly since right after the Ned Bank, like 2 years ago. I won there, and I wasn't really swinging it well going into it, to be quite honest. I swung it really well at the Ryder Cup that year, and then took a bit of time off, and I don't know, just like never really came back. And I had a nice little run, played well at the Valero and then played well at Augusta and thought, okay, I kind of got it. And then I just really never hit the ball well since then. So, like I said, last week I randomly played quite well at the President's Cup this year. Like I hit it incredible, but, there's just been so few weeks I can hold on to as good, but that's what's so odd about last week is that is the best I've swung a golf club, potentially. This is going to sound crazy, but potentially ever. It's the best I've driven, as easy as I could imagine, or I can remember ever hitting a driver. Curved less. It was more out of the middle. It's things you can't, you as if you're just watching golf, you would never be able to see, but just the point and shoot and things I like to see is on the hardest tee shots, especially Thursday, 11. I hate that tee shot. It was my highest ball speed, which means I have some freedom again. So those are things I'm looking at. Again, I know this all sounds hilarious to people because it's been so bad and I missed a cut by 5, but I was really excited about last week. It was a shame I didn't get 2 more rounds under my belt just to keep doing it, but last week finally, that Tuesday, I gave everybody in my team a hug because it finally felt like I was going forward. It just feels like I've just been going backwards for months. So yeah, Augusta was awesome, but it definitely 2 weeks later felt like it was a bit of a flash in the pan, unfortunately.
I guess it's all feel, Max, but it made me curious. Is it hard to measure progress when you have to use something other than a score?
And something we'll all look back on. So again, it is difficult, but I do know deep down, again, at Ned Bank 2 years ago when I won, it just seemed this is where he's going. It's working right, and my swing felt awful. but I just played great at the Ryder Cup. I made the Tour Championship. Like, I could see that people would think like the Ascent, everything's easy, but I knew it wasn't. So it's kind of in the inverse. As bad as this has been, like, I do know that I'm actually going the proper direction now. Thank you.
Go right back here.
Max, I know you don't need an incentive to go low, but with Genesis donating $300 for every birdie and eagle and potentially $10,000 for a hole-in-one, emotionally, what does that mean to you to personally have the chance to aid in the fire relief, and also potentially a fun way for all the tour guys to really go low and help those affected by the tragedy?
Yeah, obviously it's like no more motivating, but I just think it's very inspiring to see that, you know, a group much bigger than me, you know, myself, is looking to help. It's not like my single or hopefully dozens of birdies will do enough, but I think realizing that the mindset that people are trying to find ways to help does impact your mindset, like makes you want to do more, hopefully makes someone who hasn't done something want to do something. So I think that is really cool, and I hope that continues. It's so tough with the news cycles, how fast things move. I feel like this hasn't been talked about much since like it initially came about, that first week or two. It just kind of gets brushed aside, which I totally understand. There's other things going on, but for someone from Los Angeles with friends who had to move and trying to figure out what they're going to do, it still is very much on the forefront. So it's great to have this be, you know, kind of post the news cycle moving along, where it's back on people's minds. Myself too. Like, this has been inspiring to do more and to continue to try and help best I can.
Take just a few more. I'll go over here.
Max, with the Farmers just having been here, is it your hope or expectation to see the golf course set up a little bit differently, just in the name of variety compared to the normal Farmers approach?
Yeah, for sure. It would be cool to see, you know, when you play the U.S. Open here, you play different pins. They don't have to do a ton to this golf course, just like maintenance-wise, to do a whole lot. Unfortunately, we're going to get a lot of rain, so it will be soft, but that will mean the rough's going to play thicker. So, but yeah, I would like to see different pins and just make it unique. Obviously, when the fans are watching, they just watched this like event in a way a few weeks ago, so it would be great to see something a bit unique, but again, not playing north, I think it opens up a little bit more variety. So for sure, like if I was just sitting at home watching this, I wouldn't want it to look like a carbon copy, but I do think it helps like slightly different field in a way. Like I don't think he did. Rory didn't play the Farmers, so I think that's always exciting when you have a superstar come and play the event. So I think that brings some uniqueness, but definitely would like to see a little bit different with the golf course, minus the fact that we just can't make it very firm.
Brody and then Alex.
Max, I feel like there's been a lot of talk last few weeks about like what's a great venue, what makes a great venue for golf. I guess, what do you look for in a golf course to make it a great tournament course? Yeah, it's a really good question, because I think last week is the epitome of it. I live in Scottsdale. I never play TPC Scottsdale. One is because it's very busy, so that gives it one. But two, it plays nothing like the event does. And a day at home, I don't look at a golf course. I look at more like the architecture of the golf course more so than how the tournament would go. But so that's why TPC Scottsdale is such a great example. I look at it like kind of like a movie, where it like peaks at the right time. So a lot of talk obviously is about at TPC Scottsdale is the 16th hole, and it is a really fun, unique hole. You play there without the grandstands, it's kind of just whatever. But where it fits into the tournament and the round of golf, it is so ideal. So much can happen from the 13th through 18th holes, and I feel like it sets up kind of like a movie. The whole week, or just around Sunday, you're kind of like, you're playing holes and there's scenes, and it all is important. It's not like the birdie or bogey somebody makes on 5 is unimportant, but if you somehow can stay within 3 on the 13th tee, you can make eagle there. 14 is going to be hard, but if you somehow birdie that, and then you get to play, I think 15 through 18 is the best stretch of 4 to finish we have. So it's a golf course I wouldn't really probably write home about. But for the golf tournaments, I think it's our best. That and TPC Sawgrass are our best tournament golf courses. So it would be nice to, I know that there's probably better venues in the world that we go to or in the city that we go to each week, but it is, I think that there could be thought to like tournament-based golf courses, set them up so that it has this like climactic finish. And I think last week was a really good example of that.
We'll finish with Alex right here in front. Thank you.
Max, usually when players are struggling with their game, they don't change equipment. Obviously you did. And so is it hard to try to figure out, once you've made that change, what exactly was right or wrong with your game? And when you figured out things like last week, is that part of it, adjusting to the equipment?
No, I think something that really bothers me about how poorly I played is that I'm not giving or showing how great the Cobra stuff is, to be quite honest. Whenever I have a new company or brand I do a partnership with, I make it a goal to, through my golf, to highlight how great they are and how hardworking all these people are. And I got to go to Cobra maybe like a month and a half ago and meet all the people kind of behind the scenes. Like I know Shiv and Ben out here really well, and I'm sure if you're walking around, people know them, but there's a lot of people behind the scenes that are making, golf clubs doing the tech and engineering and all these things. And I told them at the meeting that I'm quite inspired to play great with their stuff so that they can at least be highlighted more. So when I play poorly and it gets, it's very reductive just to go to, he should have never switched golf clubs. It bothers me a lot, but it's my own, fault. I've played poorly, but there's been no golf club issue. There's been no swing where I make a good one and I think to myself, I wonder if that would have flown better with a different golf club. I switched because I, for one, saw last year that it wasn't, as my caddy said, it wasn't the golf clubs that made me hit it straight. Like it was myself. So I can tell when a golf swing is bad and when it's good. And my good ones are producing like the right flight and they feel great and the result is good. I just haven't swung it well enough. So it's been frustrating on my end just because I would never switch anything in golf to make my golf be more difficult. I care about this more than damn near anything. So that has been like 0 out of 10